What is up, everybody? Hey, this is Christian Klausner, your astrologer. In this video, this is going to be a quick masterclass of your sun, moon, and rising sign. There's an idea that I read once in some astrological text, which is that the mind has as much dominance over the body as the sun does over the earth. And I think when we understand quantum physics and we understand the laws of the mind, how reality works, we could understand that the mind truly does have power over the body to cause healing, to cause physical changes. We understand actually that the mind is the body. In Patanjali's yogic text, I forget what the text is called, but he talks about how mind and body are one thing, just two different ends of a spectrum. So the body is the visible aspect of the mind. So the atoms of the body, the vibration of the body is much more dense and slow, so we can see the body, whereas the mind is very fine and high, so we can't quite see the mind, but we see the effects of the mind through the body. Well, the ascendant in astrology represents body or earth, sun represents spirit, and the moon represents the soul. And in a way, especially even in Vedic astrology, Eastern astrology, the moon represents the mind, constantly changing and shifting mind. But the sun and moon both hold sway over the mental, spiritual aspect of mankind, and the rising sign represents the earth or the body, the appearance. So as we're going to see in the birth chart, how these three interact can really reveal a lot about a person in the holy trinity of their personality. So let's get right here into it, and we're going to do a really fun exercise that will help you put together a blurb, a sentence that you can construct of your sun, moon, and your rising sign. So we'll get into that now. So what is the birth chart? The birth chart is a symbolic blueprint of your inner nature and all the potentials with which you were born. It's an ancient tool by which you may know your inborn strengths, weaknesses, and character traits. Okay? It's sort of like a cosmic set of instructions given to us by God. That's one way that I think about it. And your chart, though, you need to know, does not define you. Just like the past does not define you. We're not shaped by the past. We're not determined by our charts. We are shaped by what we choose in the present, by what we decide now to be, do, and have in the present. And our actions in the present are determined by our vision of the future. The future is actually much more determinant of who we are than the past is. How we see the future affects what we do in the present, much more than the past is conditioning us to act in the present. This is all a state of thinking and being which changes our behavior in the present. Okay, so the sun, moon, and planets all represent different aspects of the soul, and that's why it's called the solar system. By the way, this is all taken from a program that I have called your Cosmic Calling Challenge. This is based on a 5-day challenge, and the first day is based on the sun, moon, and ascendant. This whole challenge was created to help people understand their calling through their birth chart. So if you're interested in that, I should be a link in the bio, or I'm still working on how I'm going to do this, but I think I'm just going to create this as a program that you can just purchase and work on your own. Anyways, if that's not in the bio yet, it's still in the works, or in the description of this video, then I'm still working on it. But you'll be able to at least do this full assignment here in this video. So let's understand the sun. What does the sun mean? The sun represents your instinct to act from your center. That's what it represents in astrology. It's your instinct to move from your true core. So the sun represents self-awareness, your basic identity and purpose. The sun in your birth chart is the unique spark of life within you, the source of life and consciousness at the center of your heart. It's the constant presence of this sense of I am, that I am here, is your sun sign. That's why we say I am an Aries, I am a Taurus, I am a Leo. The I am is the sun. It's your true individuality, the unique identity of your spirit. It's you as the creator of your life. It is your potential to be in full integrity and responsibility. And because responsibility breeds empowerment, the sun represents your full expression of power. Okay? Because it's you as creator. And if you are creating your experience, if you're the projector of awareness, shining a light on everything that you're aware of in this world, then that means you would take responsibility for what you see. And to do that would breed the highest level of empowerment, that everything you see is coming from you. That means you're the source of all things. That would take an immense amount of responsibility to embrace that. And to that degree, you'd also be empowered to create your reality the way you want it to be. So here's an exercise to feel your sun or spirit. Here's the exercise. Just be. Stop trying to do anything. Feel the pulse of your heart. Recognize it beats on your behalf. Okay? Your heart is just beating for you. Now imagine that you are at the center of a V. On either side of you is a 45-degree angle. You sit directly in the center, and the authentic energy of you emits effortlessly from this place. You're like a pinball with nowhere else to be but right where you're at, right where you are. Right where you are is right where you're meant to be. Just feel this for a second. Relax in this space. This is you accessing your sun, which in astrology represents your spirit. So just imagine you're a pinball and you've just gone right into the center. There's nowhere else to roll to. You're right where you're meant to be. Not that you're stuck, but that you are located right at the center of two, dualities. Okay? So that's how you feel your sun. Your sun is this part of you which is not trying. It's not efforting. It's just purely you. Nothing can be taken away from it. Nothing can be added to it. Okay? That's how you access your sun or your spirit. So what sign is your sun in? It represents your source. Or what sign is your sun in? It represents your source of energy, how you can recharge yourself. So if you're in Aries, and we're going to use these keywords, this whole PDF you can download in the description, and you can do this. This is going to be like a workbook thing that you can work on yourself. It represents your source. So screenshot this or download the PDF, and the keywords there correspond to your sun sign. So, all right, I'm not going to read all these. You can just choose the one that applies to your sun. And so now we're going to go down to the moon. What does my moon mean? What is the moon in astrology? It represents the instinct to feel and to have a home. Understanding where home is at is very much tied into feeling, okay? When you feel at home, that's a specific sort of feeling, and we use feeling to determine what is safe, what has value to us, what is not valuable to us, aka what brings pleasure, what brings pain. That's how we ascribe value to things. Our moon is what does that. And the moon is moody. The moon is always changing, right? Always changing phase, always changing signs every 2.5 days. So it's the part of us that's also changing. And because it's in constant flux and change, it's very insecure. It's in need of security. Your moon is the part of you that needs to feel secure. It's the human part of all of us. It's our personal nature. So the moon represents your emotions, your feelings, your personal nature. Just as the sun shows where we're most centered and in our power, the moon shows where we are most sensitive, vulnerable, and changeable, most needy. And it's when we give love to this place from our spirit, from our core, that then we can become secure from within. Okay? The moon is our capacity to express deep feeling, to nurture and be nurtured, and to connect in a deep and personal way with others. Just as the moon reflects the light of the sun, the mind reflects the light of consciousness, and in your personal nature is reflected the constancy of your individual nature. So this is especially laid out in the book Esoteric Astrology by Alan Leo. He talks about the difference between the personality, the moon, and the individuality, the indivisible core unity of spirit within you, individuality, which is really you, and the personality, which is a mask that we wear. Persona comes from a Latin word which means mask. That's where we get the word personality. A personality is a coping mechanism of all these different traits that are taken from other personalities, which is basically just a product of our culture, a product of the times, and it's a way to basically cope and get along with other personalities. And we all need a mask to wear. The mask, the persona, is how the soul, which is invisible, is revealed with a veil. So it's a costume that the soul wears in order to be seen and manifest in this world. So it's very necessary. Okay? So the sun in you is the spirit which emits and radiates, and the moon in you absorbs and takes the environment in. Okay, here's an exercise to feel your moon. Close your eyes and imagine yourself as a still pool of water, perfectly calm and reflective. Just feel the air around you, the temperature, the sounds, and how it all ripples softly across the surface of your senses. What are you hearing right now? What are you aware of? Notice how your inner waters respond and shift with each sensation, emotion, or thought. Allow yourself to receive these ripples without judgment. Notice how there is still that pure, centered, non-judgmental awareness underneath it all, unchanged by your sense impressions, because it is the one aware of the change. This is your sun. This is your awareness. Notice and receive this present moment. Notice and receive how it makes you feel. So you're aware, that's the light within you, your sun, of feeling. And so you say, I feel. But there's the I that is aware of the feeling taking place. So you are not the feeling. You are not the emotion. You are not even the thoughts in your mind. You're not the body. You are the one aware of all these things. So what sign is your moon in? It represents your need. Again, we're going to create a sentence out of all these. So if your moon is in Aries, you have this need to act. If you have a moon in Taurus, a need for stability. Okay, screenshot this or download the PDF in the description. And we're going to put these together, create a sentence. Now let's move on to the ascendant. What does my ascendant mean? The ascendant, or the rising sign, represents your persona or your external mask. I thought the moon was the personality, Christian. Well, they all play hand in hand. Me on your screen right now, this is an amalgamation, a combination of all my sun, moon, and rising sign. There is no person without a personality, and there's no personality without a spirit to give it life. But the ascendant represents the earth, the physical, the outermost layer, the mask. Whereas the moon is sort of the one that's giving feeling and life to it. And the sun is the one that's electrifying it with this true identity. But the ascendant represents the outer mask. I think of the ascendant or the rising sign as like the outermost layer to your aura. So it's the first part of you to reach others. It's the first thing you feel when someone walks through the door, enters a room. When you enter the room, the ascendant is sort of the first sort of energy that people notice or feel. The ascendant is also called the rising sign because it's the sign rising on the eastern horizon at the time of birth. It's also considered the quality that is rising or developing within you in this lifetime. The quality that your spirit and soul is developing. It's the quality of soul, like I said, arising through you, the energy behind, the energy within you being developed. It's the outermost layer to your aura. It's the image or persona that people first recognize in you, the energetic first impression. It affects one's outer appearance and features. So in the chart, it really has a lot to do with how a person's appearing, their appearance, their facial features. It represents the quality through which the soul can express and discover its individuality. The moon symbolizes the past, sun symbolizes present, and the ascendant symbolizes the future. Okay? So here's an exercise to feel your ascendant, your persona. The way you feel is the way others will feel in your presence. Set an intention for how you want to make others feel. Stand or sit tall and imagine you are breathing in a vertical pillar of light into the top of your head. connecting you from the heavens all the way down to the base of your spine. Connect to the energy of your intention. What was that intention that you have for how you want to make others feel? Connect to the energy of that intention. And as you breathe out, feel that you are exuding this energy. And while you may not be able to change your appearance right away, you can change how you influence others in an instant with intention and decision. So that's a good way to feel your ascendant. Set an intention for the way you want to make others feel. Connect with that energy. You will start to feel that way. And imagine that as you breathe in and out, you're exuding this energy. Okay? So what sign is your ascendant in? It represents the quality you can express for self-discovery. If it's Aries, it's courage. Taurus, dedication. Gemini, endless curiosity. Take a picture of this or download the PDF in the description. Okay, now we're going to put them all together. Fill in the sentence with the keywords offered on the next few pages. So you're going to put driven by my need for, and you're going to put whatever the keyword was for your moon. Remember, for Gemini, it's endless curiosity. Driven by my need for endless curiosity, I use my ascendant. Or excuse me, endless curiosity was for the keyword for the ascendant. So, driven by my need blank, I use my blank, your ascendant keyword, my endless curiosity, if it's Gemini, to become a blank. And you're going to put your sun sign keyword there. Driven by my need for blank, I use my blank to become a blank. And those are your big three there. Okay? Take a screenshot, fill them in with the other screenshot keywords that you've taken, or download the PDF in the description for totally free. Here's the keywords. Here's a bunch of keywords. These are all keywords that you can use. Okay? There's a ton there for you. Feel free to experiment. You can screenshot that there. And just have fun with it. This is just to get to know you. Okay? Do this on your own time. So let me zoom in so I can see it. Driven by my need. So I'm going to do mine. I have a Leo sun and Leo moon and an Aquarius rising. So driven by my need to create, I use my Aquarius ascendant, bright mind, my eccentricity, my originality, to become a Leo sun, creative inspiration, a king, a queen, a performer. Okay? So there you go. Have fun with it. Have a ton of fun with this. Remember, if you're having fun, it's the best way to learn. It's the best way to grow is by having fun. So here's your homework at the end of this PDF. Practice feeling others' suns. Practice feeling the warmth, the true self exuding off of people. It's going to take a lot of high level of perception. So you ask somebody that you know, a friend or family, what their birthday is to find their sun sign. And then it says refer to the next page, but you actually will just Google search it if you don't know what their sun sign is based on their birthday. Practice feeling their essential being, that warmth of their center, which they naturally are without trying. And practice feeling it instead of just applying your own judgments based on the signs, based on other people's signs that you know, or the cliche stereotypes. Really try to feel the unique originality of the person that they just exude without trying. For extra credit, find out their moon and rising signs as well and see if you can feel these in them as well. Some books and resources that I'd recommend are, number one, a Bible, the ultimate, a guidebook for life, the ultimate manual for living. Also one of the greatest astrological texts ever written. I'd also recommend Esoteric Astrology by Alan Leo, Self-Unfoldment by Manly Palmer Hall, Intuitive Astrology by Elizabeth Campbell, and Power Through Constructive Thinking by Emmett Fox. With those books, you'll become a mastermind. Okay, I love you guys. I hope this has been helpful. Thank you so much for watching subscribing. I'm almost to 1,000 subscribers, so thank you for subscribing, helping me get there. Really appreciate you. Be very blessed. Have an amazing day. And I'll assume that all the greatest things are already on their way to you and are already in your life right now. Much love, guys. Be blessed. More videos on the way. See you soon. Bye-bye.